Fear, it's one of the most powerful forces in our lives, isn't it? It can feel like this shadow that follows us around, whispering doubts and kind of dictating our decisions. So, in this explainer, we're going to dig into some material from Everstreams that asks a really powerful question. What if fear is just a storyteller? And maybe more importantly, what if we can choose to listen to a completely different story? So let's just start with this question because it's at the very heart of this whole idea. It frames fear not just as some feeling we have, but as an actual narrative, a story that might be holding us back from everything we're meant to be, a story that might not even be true. So, what does that story actually sound like? Okay, so first up, let's break down the problem. Because fear isn't just a passive emotion that happens to us. The material we're looking at here frames it as an active antagonist, a really deceptive storyteller. And you see what's happening here. Fear is being given agency. It's not just something we feel, it's something that does things. It's the one whispering in our ear, paralyzing us when we want to move forward, and clouding our judgment. It's actively trying to sell us on a reality that's built on nothing but doubt, and it's trying to blind us to all the possibilities right in front of us. And boom, here it is, the core conflict laid out side by side. On one hand, you have fear's story, and it's all about what you're missing. It tells you that you're lacking, that you're not safe, that you're invisible. But then you have God's story, this counter narrative, which doesn't just argue with the lies, it completely replaces them with truth. Light to shatter the darkness, love to make you safe, and strength to show you that you are absolutely seen and empowered. All right, so if fear is telling this one pretty grim story, what's the alternative? Well, this is where it gets really good. The source material offers a powerful counter-narrative, one that's built on a totally different foundation. And this right here, this is the foundational counter-argument. It states so clearly that the very nature of what God gives is the polar opposite of fear. It's not a spirit of anxiety, it's a spirit of power, of love, of clarity. So the crucial point is this: if you're experiencing that spirit of fear, the message here is that it's just not coming from that divine source. And this just drives that point home, but this time with a promise of presence. See, the antidote to fear, according to this verse, isn't just gritting your teeth and trying harder. It's recognizing you have a constant companion. The command, do not fear, is directly tied to the reason, for I am with you. And that presence just demolishes the isolation that fear loves to feed on. Now, promises are great, but seeing them play out in real life, that's something else entirely. So let's look at a few amazing examples, you could almost call them case studies, of people who chose this counter-narrative over fear. Okay, just look at these three. First up, you've got Joshua, staring at this impenetrable city and being told to, what? March in circles? It made zero logical sense, but he chose to trust God's power over his fear of failure. Then you have Daniel, who faced a literal den of hungry lions, but chose his faith over the fear of a really gruesome death. And finally, the disciples, freaking out for their lives in a storm, who then get to see Jesus literally tell the wind and waves to chill out, turning their terror into total awe. Each story you see boils down to a choice. Are you going to listen to fear, or are you going to trust in a power that's way bigger? And this quote from Jesus, wow, it's like the ultimate mic drop for this whole section. It is a final, definitive statement of victory. The message is that the absolute worst that the world and fear can dish out has already been defeated. It reframes fear not as some unconquerable giant, but as an opponent who has already lost the war. All right, so we've established the problem, fear's story, and we've got the counter-narrative. But what's the actual engine that makes this all work? What's the thing that really drives fear out? Well, it all comes down to one incredibly powerful force. And here we have it. This is maybe one of the most direct statements you can find on the subject. It doesn't say love lessens fear or helps you manage fear. It says it drives it out. It casts it away completely. But what does perfect love actually mean here? Now, this is a really important distinction. Perfect here doesn't mean a flawless, never make a mistake kind of love like we might think. It means a love that is complete. It's mature. It's fully realized. It's a love that isn't just a warm, fuzzy feeling, but one that is actively demonstrated through truth and action. And that is why this mature love is the ultimate fear buster. I mean, think about it. When you are rooted in the reality that you are fully loved, fully protected, and fully known by the creator of the entire universe, what is there really left to be afraid of? The source material points out that fear is a form of torment, almost like a punishment in itself. This complete love just pulls the rug out from under that torment, because the lies about being unloved, unprotected, or unknown just can't stick anymore. And that brings us to the big finale. We've seen the two competing stories, and we've seen the power that can rewrite the narrative. So now it all comes down to a choice.
Wow. I mean, this verse just ties everything together so beautifully, doesn't it? It echoes all the themes we've been talking about. You've got presence, is with you. You've got power, the mighty warrior who saves. And you've got this just incredible love. He will rejoice over you with singing. It's this powerful image of a loving protector who isn't far off or angry, but who actually delights in you.
And hey, if you had any doubt about how important this message is, chew on this for a second. Across the Bible, people are told, do not fear, in some way, shape, or form over 300 times. That's not a footnote, right? That's a headline, repeated again and again and again. And so we end up right back where we started, with the idea of a story. Look, fear will always try to pick up the pen and write your narrative, filling it with doubt and limitation. But the clear message here is that fear does not have to have the final word. So the ultimate question we're left with is this: who are you going to allow to finish your story?